Wait. Your mind chip.
Beers and a conversation. We're here to discuss everything rock and roll from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and on through today. The hosts of the show are Zag, Ness, and Curtis. Take it away, guys.
Oh. Hey, guys, how's everything going?
I like that sound.
What you been up to? Yeah, that's a nice sound.
Mike's been up to drinking beer.
He has, like apparently he has.
Boy. Yeah, no, that's what the podcast's about.
He's drinking one right now.
That's it.
I've been listening to Dio.
Which one in particular?
The whole catalog,
including
Black Sabbath.
You celebrate
Heaven and Hell, Elf. Yeah,
everything. Even Elf. You got some Elf.
You ever listen to Elf?
I haven't heard anything from Elf.
Different.
All I know is what I know about Elf is he brought some of the musicians when he went to Rainbow. There was a couple of guys in Elf that played on the first Rainbow album. That's all I know about Elf.
Who?
Ronnie James Dio brought in.
Which guys?
I know I think it was the bass player.
Jimmy Bain?
No, it was Craig Gruber or something.
Yeah, I think
Gruber,
so.
something like that.
Not sure.
Yeah, and I think maybe the drummer, but I'm not, or the keyboard player. But yeah, I don't know exactly. I just remember that a couple of guys from Elf came over there.
Okay.
And that.
But that's a lot of what I've been listening to, but other stuff. But that's mainly lately. I don't know. I've been really listening to a lot of it because I don't know. I haven't listened to. That's one of those things I don't listen to all the time. And heard one on the radio, and then I just started listening to everything Rainbow stuff, and I still love that song Stargazer.
Is that the instrumental?
No.
Oh, right.
It's an 8-minute epic song, but
that's off of Rising.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And what's Mike been listening to?
Yes. Yeah. If we're
actually, I got the Rolling Stones El Combo 1977 CD deluxe package, which is pretty cool because it's. Unfortunately, it's the tour that was for Black and Blue, which is a pretty weak Stones album.
Okay.
But it actually takes what was on Love You Live, which was filmed, recorded in Paris and Toronto, and it's just a Toronto show, and it's off the soundboard.
Okay.
Which is really good. The sound is really in your face, and it's really close. It does sound like they're like right in your basement playing. However, there's some of the songs are not up to par. Like All Down the Line's not a good version. They struggle through Luxury. But some of the ones like Route 66 and some of the old blues ones like Manish Boy and stuff did a really good job, but the sound is just incredible. It really is. You can hear everything separated and stuff, and it just from the soundboard, obviously, and it's a small place.
Yeah.
And the thing was, FYI, fun fact, April Wine opened up for that.
Oh.
Yeah. And I look back and says, what the heck would they had
Really?
April Wine had out in that? But the only hits they had at that time were Ooh, What a Night and Ooh, She Could Have Been a Lady.
Could have been a lady.
Yeah.
But they are a Canadian band.
What was it? 77.
77.
Yeah.
The Alma Combo.
I mean, they are a Canadian band, and it was that.
Well, that was the kind of the subterfuge is trying to, it's actually just an April Wine show.
Oh, okay.
And they had them in there.
Oh.
But the problem was, according to liner notes and stuff, I mean, you're walking down Spadina Avenue, and next thing you know, you hear Jumpin' Jack Flash. You go, that doesn't sound like April Wine. They're doing their warm-ups and stuff. They're doing their sound check. And it's like, no, that's not April Wine.
Yeah.
I think something else is going on. And next thing you know, people are, camping out in front. It's like, okay, I guess the Stones are going to be here.
Yeah.
All right, Kurt, what's Kurt been listening to? I don't even want to know.
Okay, well, it's going to be interesting because mine's way off out in left field. Right, it's a bluegrass. I've been listening to a female bluegrass.
Okay, we're going to start talking about our topic today.
About a female bluegrass guitar player. Her name's Molly Tuttle, and she can really play
Molly
the guitar.
who?
Tuttle, Tuttle. I was watching a year ago.
Any relation to Molly Hatchet?
That's a possibility, but
Molly Ringwald?
Huh?
Molly Ringwald?
No, Molly Ringwald.
Molly Watt?
She's actually, she could be related to Molly Ringwald because she's from out in California. But no, I was actually watching the Bluegrass Music Awards
a
year ago. No, it's just I was flipping through the channels and come across it, so I started watching it, and she was playing, and another local guy, Billy Strings, he's from Lansing area, was playing too, and I was like, wow, I got to start checking these out, and so I've been streaming some of her music, and it's not bad.
What actual station runs the Bluegrass Music Awards?
Well, the thing that I was watching was on TV. It was.
I'm saying, what station would put that on?
The Circle, that Circle channel, that country music channel.
Huh.
That's what. Yeah. And actually, the interesting thing is this summer.
I don't think I could even find this station.
this summer, there's actually a bluegrass festival up in Wellston, Michigan, up by Cadillac, and she's playing there. So I'm like, it's a 3-day festival. I'm thinking, ooh, I wouldn't mind heading up there.
When is that?
August 18th, 19th, and 20th, I believe.
I got
busy.
like a big
Are you busy that day?
I'm already
wedding and then a funeral
Yeah.
at the same day. There's no way I can make that.
Well, see, I was
Or it could be the same thing. A wedding is a funeral, depending on how you look at it.
Well, they're going to kill the bride.
I wasn't.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, I wasn't going to ask you guys anyway.
Yeah, all right.
I wasn't
I was in
going
a
to.
cult. I joined the cult last time we talked too. He's in the bluegrass. I joined the cult.
Okay.
I see. Okay.
They let you grow your hair out in the cult? I thought they make you shave your head. All right, I'll be looking for you in the airport.
Wow, I'm sorry I asked. Okay, bluegrass.
Yes.
I wouldn't have expected that.
No, there's times I do like listening to bluegrass. So.
Hey,
Who else is a bluegrass artist we should keep our eye on? Or who's famous in bluegrass outside of Lester Scruggs?
Roy Clark.
Yeah, Roy Clark.
Is he bluegrass or is that
He
country?
plays a banjo.
He does that occasionally.
What would he be
Is
considered?
that considered bluegrass?
Hee haw.
Well, it could be. Yeah,
What's
at
hee-haw?
times.
Maybe that's the name of the music. I don't know.
Another was Patty Lovelace does some bluegrass CDs
But
now
she's
and
a
then.
straight country artist.
Yeah, but she also does bluegrass, which is not bad. I got one of her albums, one of her discs too. Well, I don't know if you call them albums now or they're CDs or whatever.
I think David Lee Roth did a bluegrass album.
He's tried everything.
Really?
Didn't you do the lounge singer thing and everything else?
I'll get that
I'll
because
have to
I'm
look.
a big fan.
Yeah,
of
I'll have
bluegrass.
to start checking in. Was
learn something.
Oh, isn't Steven Tyler going to bluegrass now? The country thing? Now maybe you're going to do bluegrass? Okay.
well, country and bluegrass kind of go a little bit hand in hand.
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
Yeah,
All right.
you
Yeah.
can kind of. So,
Okay, so what's our topic today, Kurt?
Our topic is let's do rock and roll movies.
All right.
You know, that's what I think. Why was there a topic that you want?
No, that's it. That's fine. I just wanted you to kind of introduce it.
Okay.
with your-
Yeah, we're going to discuss rock and roll
baritone
movies.
there.
Yeah, we're going to discuss rock and roll movies, concerts, bios, whatever you think that is a good rock and roll movie.
All right.
And
you lead us off. What you got?
what I got? I had to rewatch this over the weekend. Was The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2: The Metal Years?
Solid
Yes, that
choice.
was yes. I'd say I was.
Now,
right.
we've all seen that. And we've all seen Chris Holmes and he's almost drowned in front of his mother in the pool.
Yep.
And we also did see the best metal band in Detroit, Seduce.
Seduce is in
Seduce
it.
is
Yes,
in there.
Yep.
Best lines when David Black is just sitting there going, they ask him, what's the best band in Detroit? He goes, we are.
Yes.
He's
I
kind
haven't
of
seen it
leaning
in a while. I actually have the DVDs too. And I haven't watched that in a
Yeah,
long
like I
time.
say, I pulled that over the weekend.
Because it's three parts basically. They got
They're-
the DVDs are cut up in 3 sections.
Is it that movie, though? Because there's a punk one they made, the very first one, which
Yeah, it's
I
all
did
of them
watch.
together.
And
You're
that
talking
was
the
horrible.
metal one.
Yeah, I'm just talking about
Okay,
strictly
yeah,
the metal.
It's a 3-parter.
Yeah.
They did a punk one,
Yeah.
which was really basic, really bad, very, very ugh.
Yeah.
And then you could tell she learned from that experience, and then she incorporated that in the metal years. Because the punk one didn't have anybody of any note. They had a bunch of guys like Darby Crash, people that no one ever heard of outside of the 50 guys that slam into each other somewhere in a club in Santa Monica.
Right, yeah.
But I think she learned from the fact that, okay, the metal years, you saw like Aerosmith in there. You saw Kiss. You saw Ozzy. You saw some of the big name guys in there too, so it kind of
Right.
gave the movie a little bit more watchability, if that's a word, as opposed to sitting there watching Odin and London
London,
and stuff.
yeah,
Go, who are these guys? It's the same thing as the punk thing. Is who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
So I think what Penelope Spheris did is she realized, hey, you know what? Let's get some brand names in here so I can get eyes on my film.
Right. Yep.
So the first one was bad. That Metal Years really solid.
That was the best one.
Really solid. And kind of sad too, because you ask a lot of these guys, and some of these dirtbags are going, "Well, what are you gonna do if it doesn't work out?" And this kid's, no, it's gonna work out.
Yeah,
but what if it doesn't?
I've got
Now it's gonna work.
I've got no backup plan.
Yeah, I got no backup.
Yeah, that's nice.
I've never
I
had
know
a
I'm gonna
job.
And
It's like nice.
And do you know what?
Nice.
The really interesting part? The part about that movie, it came out at the end of 1988. Within 2 years, grunge was all the rage. So all these bands and these guys that were thinking they were going to make it big had like a 1.5 year window if they were to get signed from that movie to do anything, because grunge came around right after that, and basically No one knew.
They all went to
him.
How-
Get-
Guitar
How
Center.
much of that though was a follow me culture though? They probably, if they saw that comment, if they were smart, which they weren't, says,
well, none
okay,
of
I
them.
see this is dying. Well, I'm gonna buy me a flannel shirt and just start staring at my shoes and
No,
play
no,
out of tune.
None of them people in that
So you
movie.
just hung on to that for dear life. So
They
this is
probably-
it. I'm going
yeah.
down.
No, there's no. Yeah,
But the
you
last
can
guy,
tell.
the Titanic in there with their,
Yeah. Well,
their flex net hair.
Well, a lot of them that are in there are still playing, knocking around, playing clubs, and or
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
yeah. Like I know, London's still around? Are they still doing their thing?
I don't know there. but-
That was Dater DePriest and the big tall. I think one of those guys is dead.
Because same with Odin. One of the guys in Odin.
Well, you
passed away.
mentioned Chris Holmes. There's a documentary on him that I watched. It actually was pretty good. And now he's like, I think, sick. He's got like cancer or something. But I forgot the name of the documentary for him. That wasn't on my
How did I
list.
not drown?
It wasn't on my list, but he's real bitter about
Oh,
what
I
happened with Wops.
remember hearing about that.
What could he
is
be bitter
not
about
happy.
how
He's
he's
living in
No, he got
France or something like that. He's not living here.
Yeah, he got
He's got his
supposed-
wife in there and stuff.
yeah, he supposedly got screwed over by Blackie. Is what he said.
Yeah, he didn't get the money he was
Yeah, the
supposed to
royalty
get. It's always
money and stuff.
comes down to money.
So he's
Yeah.
not bitter about how he's portrayed in the movie where his poor mom's watching him just flailing around almost. Okay.
pouring the
Pouring the
vodka.
vodka.
He's actually proud of it.
If he remembers it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lord.
I know, watching him pour vodka bottles on all over
Yeah.
himself and just
Now,
leaks.
also, being that you've went right with the documentaries,
Yeah.
I have, and this is a movie, but I don't think it had widespread distribution. Well, I think it may have. The Cream magazine documentary.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I got national.
That was really good.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
But I don't know how interested some people outside of. Well, Cream was a national magazine,
Yeah,
but
it was-
It was
it
like
was
this
national
Rolling
I think
Stone.
more
It-
interest here than maybe
Oh, you mean the
other
actual-
parts of the
you mean the
country. Yeah, but
documentary.
it was a good documentary.
Well, it had more of an angle here, but I mean,
Yes.
it was the countercultures. I mean, it was the finger to Rolling Stone, which was kind of
Right.
stuck up its own backside, and
now it's back
kept
in
putting
circulation.
Bob Dylan on the cover and Neil Young and all stuff. Where Cream was putting like Van Halen on the cover, and
Right.
Ted Nugent and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was very, very well done as well.
More of a current one. One that I just saw, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, or not. I'll bring that one up later. The other one I was thinking of is Supermensch. That's the one with. It's
Oh,
got,
yes,
and Mike Myers directed. it.
Yes, I've seen
And,
that. I've seen that.
It's
one.
the relationship between Alice Cooper and his manager.
Yes.
And I thought that was awesome. I thought that
It
was a
was-
great
yes.
movie.
Really?
That-
Oh,
yes,
these guys,
that was a
they
really
never
good-
had worked under a contract.
Yep.
He's trusted them. You know how these guys get ripped off.
Right.
He's
Yeah,
been with
everybody
them almost his entire career. After I think Zappa or something had something to do with Alice Cooper at the beginning, but then
Yeah.
he's been with this what's his Shep Gordon.
Shep Gordy, yeah.
Been with him forever and never worked under a contract. They trust each other like brothers.
Yeah.
And it kind of showed that relationship. And then he's the one that really saved Cooper from dying. I mean, he was a complete drunk, drug addict.
Yep.
And he told him, "You got to do something here." And he got straight, and they're still together today.
Now I saw a super duper Alice Cooper, but I think it was more of a MTV VH1 kind of put together thing as
I actually
opposed to an
got
actual
that. Yeah, I bought
movie.
that.
That's actually really good too.
Yeah. What I don't like about that one is they put like cartoons in the middle.
I did see that. That was kind of distracting.
Yeah, that is. But that was good. I mean,
Yeah.
but this one, it was more of a thing about a story of the two of those guys.
Yes.
And his career and how they hooked up and
Yeah, because he was originally he was originally running drugs. I think
really
at first.
bad shape for
Yeah,
a
he was-
while.
Ooh, Alice?
No,
Punch?
Oh yeah, Shep was.
or Shep was.
Yeah, he was a drug dealer.
He was a
or
drug
something.
dealer, and he
Really?
decided he goes, I don't want to keep doing this all along. And
And he's
next thing-
managed a couple other people.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly who,
He's
but he's
actually-
been with him. And
he is actually responsible for creating like the Food Channel, because he
What?
he is he was
Oh yeah, he loves cooking.
he loves cooking. He was the one as
he
years
loves
went
to
on.
cook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind blown. I did not know this.
Oh, he's a
Yes.
unique guy, no doubt about
Really,
it.
yeah,
He's,
really,
he's had quite
really
the
intelligent.
life.
Yeah, really intelligent.
Huh.
Really, I mean, he was the one that he also when as the Alice Cooper band was beginning to gain popularity, the whole thing was well, who's Alice?
Yeah.
And then Shep's like, okay, we got to create something here, and that's when how Vincent Fournier, aka Alice Cooper, became Alice Cooper,
Yeah.
because he's like, we got to, people are wondering who's Alice Cooper. We got to present an Alice Cooper person, and that's kind of how he became Alice Cooper. And then after that is kind of, he ended up going solo from that.
Hey, just an aside. I don't know, and we've seen all these movies and read all the stuff there. How Detroit is Alice Cooper? It sounds like he was born here, moved to Arizona, spent his formative years there, and then kind of came back later on. But I mean, how? He's not Ted Nugent Detroit.
He's pretty. He just did that last album
Yeah.
here. Recorded the whole thing here. Used
But
a
I
lot
mean,
of
how
Detroit
much is his
musicians.
Detroit card credible?
I think it's pretty credible.
Well,
Okay.
the early in his early days, he played
left-
here.
He had really bad asthma. Was one reason why he got out of here in Arizona, the air and all that,
His
and that's where he continues to live. But
Yeah.
I know at one point he came back. They had a farm someplace in Pontiac they were recording, or the band stayed at a house.
Okay.
So he's pretty still tied here. I mean, he comes back and does things.
No,
and
he
came
goes
for
out of his
that-
way to props this up. He wears Tiger jerseys
Yeah.
and stuff. He
I
loves
think
his Tigers. He admits that.
I think
but,
he still claims to be from
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
you
he
know?
was. Yeah, he was born
yeah,
here.
just
This is
sometimes I
kinda-
kind of question his Detroit card, but no, I don't question him. He's a good cat, and he's been through some stuff too.
Yeah, and he's still married. His wife, she left him when he was, drunk and drugs. But they're back. They've been together a long time. And now she's in the show, and he's been sober for a long time. And I guess he's a hell of a golfer too.
Yeah, he does. He plays the pro-ams. Mm-hmm. He's on the pro-ams.
All right, so you had the Mensch one. Okay, circling back around this way. Again, I don't know if this got widespread distribution, but I found, and maybe it's not even rock and roll belongs in here, but well, no, you talked about bluegrass. The Linda Ronstadt documentary, The Sound of My Voice.
Yes, fantastic.
Great
Never
great
saw
documentary, but tough to watch. Tough to watch because toward the end,
she's sick.
she's got Parkinson's.
Yeah. Also, it's a current something.
Oh, it actually goes from the beginning all the way through all her faces and
it's current.
stuff. Yeah.
been a recent
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
At the very end, they kind of show
Oh,
her like in
never
a big lazy boy, and she's, you can tell, you can look in her eyes and just see that she's struggling to, sing and stuff, and just ends up just humming and just kind of scatting along. But the first part of it's fantastic. Obviously, Linda was not a fan of bras back in the day. It was just okay.
Yep.
And then,
Really?
later on, it just.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna go there.
Oh, you have to, Mike. You look at this thing.
You
Good
gotta
Lord,
watch it, Mike.
it's not.
Obviously,
yeah.
you haven't seen it. It's,
No,
it's,
yeah.
it's a really good.
It really is, and she's
So
pretty
where did you see it?
level-headed.
Did you see this on TV?
I read about it I don't know if it just went straight to the DVD or actually any theater play.
I don't remember hearing anything about being in the theaters.
Okay, so see, that might not actually be what we're talking about, but that I saw that. Actually, Kirk brought it over one day to watch it.
Yeah,
I just
I picked up the
nailed me to the
DVD.
floor. It's like it's really, really heart wrenching to
Never
see this
seen it.
beautiful, beautiful voice just kind of reduced to what it is, and she could belt it.
Yeah, it even shows Glenn Fry and Don Henley in the early days when they were part of her backing band for a while before they went on their own. It covers a lot. It's a really good watch. It's a worthwhile watch.
Good enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'll have to
kind.
check
You seem to be a little bit put off there. You're not a big Ronstadt fan?
No, I am.
Okay.
I thought that you could have brought something else out about it other than her not wearing a bra. That's all I said. There's got to be a little more to it than
There is, but I mean, you just sit there and that's the first thing you
that's
notice. It's
all
like,
it was kinda
good
high.
Lord, woman, they had bras back in the day.
Okay, she
But-
just didn't want to wear one, I guess.
Apparently not. She was a hippie chick. I don't know. I asked Don Henley.
Well,
Got his number?
she was in Arizona for a while. That's
There
where
you go, it's hot.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
did.
I like her though. I think
Yeah,
Great
I would think
man.
it's a good story. It's a fascinating
songs.
story because for someone who is kind of somewhat private in her life and stuff, to allow herself to be seen at a stage where she's kind of vulnerable, and at that point where
Wait a minute, private? She dated Jerry Brown, the governor
But
of
I mean-
California.
But I mean, since then, that was when she was young.
Okay, gotcha.
But as she moved on and stuff, she
Okay,
kind of pulled.
when
She
she got
pulled away
away.
from the music industry and stuff. And maybe
Yeah.
she that thing she was talking about. Well, I'm tired of playing rock and roll. Then she started doing
Right,
the
she did
mariachi
that.
stuff, and then she's
Yep.
pulling more and more away from the mainstream. Just kind of doing just stuff I want to do. And
Yeah.
then, yeah. No, but you're right. There was a time when
Yeah.
she was everywhere, and it was great.
Which is when she left doing the rock and roll stuff, is she wanted to do back to her roots from Mexico. If the family, and that's when she started doing some of the Mexican music, and then which is kind of cool. Then she hooked up with Dolly Parton and
I have that album.
the trio album.
Trio, Emily Lou Harris, Dolly Parton, and
Yep.
her.
Yep.
Telling Me Lies, great song. I actually got the one she did with Nelson Riddle with all the American standards. That is just gold. The Mexican music stuff, not a fan of the music, so I wasn't really rushing to get that one. But
yeah, I mean, she did it because she wanted to.
Yeah, and she did the Pirates of Penzance, which was an operetta. It's okay. I'm not a big fan of that.
I remember it, but I don't.
Well, I mean, it was she kind of called her own shots.
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to do this, and screw you. If it sells, it sells. If it doesn't, I'll put out another one.
And it did sell. That's
Yeah.
the thing is, it did sell.
Okay. It
did?
And she did. They talked about it in the movie that all that stuff was big sellers.
Okay, what's
Back
your
over to you.
I have. It's probably more of a local thing. Was Louder Than Love, the story of the Grandview Ballroom?
Yeah, I had that on my list.
You know, I have.
But that is probably more of a local thing.
Yeah, that is because it's just
but it was good as far as informative.
Yes, it had some really good parts. But I probably another movie that I do like is the movie. This is now going into more of a blockbuster type movie. Was Almost Famous. The kind of the story of Cameron Crowe's life. I seen the movie. I like the movie.
Now I had that on my subgenre here list as see here it was like rock themed movies.
Okay,
kind of like that. I would clump that in with Rockstar, the one about the Ripper Owens story, that type of thing, where it's about that type of thing.
That's what I'm saying. This is more of this. That's what I'm saying. This is more of a blockbuster.
Can't say I saw that, either one of those.
But if you want to go,
Almost Famous. Cameron Crowe it's kind of based on him, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of based on loosely based on his
and
life.
I saw it, but I don't remember. Did he direct it or something?
I think he may have. He was involved with it because he wrote it. I know he wrote the movie.
I wouldn't I'd say I love it, but it was a good movie.
I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. Probably, and then then obviously you have probably more of the we made like the Wrecking Crew.
I did see that. I saw parts of that. That's
that.
the one with the musicians that worked with the Beach Boys.
Yeah, the studio musicians
out in L.A.
Out in L.A.
Yeah. Well, I did find that kind of somewhat fascinating.
So Kurt just did 3.
Okay.
And then just that little.
Look at that.
I can keep going.
He's not messing around.
I'm rolling.
He
I'm
wants
on a
his
roll
2
now.
cents. Yeah, he wants his pound of flesh.
I'm going now. Just wait a minute.
For this.
He's done with his list.
He's done.
Oh, no,
Okay.
I got
Show's over.
I got a War and Peace.
Thanks for showing up, Kurt. It'll be me and Mike the rest of the day. Okay, so
Just want to get
you
done.
can go home. See the wife and the kids and stuff.
Later,
Me and Mike will take it from here. All right, so you had now what about under that whole Almost Famous rock star? What about like Wayne's World? Where does that fall?
Well, you can classify that.
That's.
I mean, that's kind of. Is it a rock or just rock themed? Or it's hilarious, really.
Yeah, it's a comedy. I would say it's a comedy. It's a comedy
movie.
Yeah,
it's a comedy. I would say I mean it's a comedy, kind of a music theme, and they do a really good job because basically they took it off and said,
you can almost classify Fast Times at Ridgemont High in there too.
That was
because it really wasn't a music movie, but it
just had a good soundtrack.
That was a good soundtrack, and then they had the concert guy with the tickets.
Yes,
what was his name?
Oh,
Damone.
You got
Damone. Yeah, Damone.
I got front row to Skinner. Anyway, he's always pushing them tickets, but it had that kind of, I don't know, that thing really made me feel like it was high school. It's Macaulay, the typical guy in high school.
Yep.
But the soundtrack too. I mean, it had all rock music in it.
See, now that's kind of where I was going with another one. You kind of jumped the tracks on me here. Because I was going to take the Wayne World's avenue and go into like the Blues Brothers and say Spinal Tap. But if you're going to go with the soundtrack thing, Dazed and Confused.
Oh yeah,
great movie, great soundtrack. You could turn that. You just listen to the soundtrack and just turn down the actors talking and stuff. Mm-hmm. But again, it's the actual soundtrack that bolsters the actual theme of the movie. Like Fast Times, same thing. It was one of those things where the soundtrack is just as strong as the movie.
It was kind of the first movie where it included a lot of the grunge stuff that was coming up. Because it wasn't Alice in Chains in there, wasn't?
No. This is all based on the 70s.
Which
Dazed and Confused. This is the one
I'm
where
I'm thinking
this is the one where
singles. I'm thinking of singles.
This is the classic one where
I saw it too. Yeah, but I was thinking singles soundtrack.
Where the dude's driving through the parking lot and all he hears is Sweet Emotion, and he's doing the slow roll through the.
What else was in that? It was
Ted was in there. Everybody was in there.
Yeah, it was all
Skinner.
It
was all. Leonard Skinner was in there. And what, with
I
Days
know
Confused,
Black
right?
Oak, Arkansas was in there. Ted was in
Jim
there.
Dandy.
Kiss was in there. Yeah, it was the music of the times, and it served that movie perfectly.
Yep.
Now, another one, and you guys may or may not know this, but the actual soundtrack was probably just as strong as the movie. Old movie, American Graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I had that double CD soundtrack. It had all the greatest hits from the 50s, even though none of us were around then, but they had all the hits. And the movie, and it kind of
Still
tied
a good
in.
movie, too.
It was still
When it's on, I'll
tied
stop and
in.
watch
Yeah,
that.
it
Yeah.
and you never see that pop up ever again.
No.
It's
Well,
really
it
weird.
used to be on like regular TV a lot more, but now that cable's around, you don't see it as often.
Great soundtrack. Great soundtrack. It really played in the music, or I mean the movie as well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Now here's another one. Is FM, the movie FM.
Yes.
Kind of a weak story. I mean, the man's trying to take over the station. These DJs have been playing music for a long time. Corporate comes in, does this.
Great soundtrack.
Two Bob Seger songs on there.
But then they threw in a Fogelberg song.
I don't know.
Yes, they do.
See, there you go. We
How
got
does that
two mentions of
At
David
the closing,
Fogelberg.
the closing song is a Dan Fogelberg.
Well, the only thing I can think is, you know how usually an album has the weak song? They got to like put a bad song on.
Yeah.
Was that the filler on the album?
No, I think it was the Bob Seger.
Because he does not fit in. He doesn't fit in
Yeah, I
at
think
all.
it's Bob Seger tunes.
No.
Can take that?
They wouldn't put two songs on by somebody that was bad.
No.
I think Bob
Logic
probably paid him.
dictates they wouldn't do that.
Punch probably threw
worked.
in and goes,
The movie was not.
If you're going to put two
the
songs,
strong-
if you're going to put two bad songs on the album, it's going to be a Poison album. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that loud?
But the soundtrack was better than the movie.
yeah, the movie
wasn't that
the
good.
movie wasn't that great.
It kind of went all over, and
and-
it kind of got full of
Yeah.
itself. It's like, okay, but
But there
they
was-
did have live performances of Jimmy Buffett,
and
Livingstone Saturday Night, or Livingston Saturday Night.
and they also had Linda Ronstadt.
Yes, doing Tom Bun Dice or Poor Pitiful Me. One of those.
Yeah, one of the, I can't remember.
Yeah,
I think it was-
anyway.
Pitiful Me, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not-
Okay, and that's when the she was supposed to be sponsored by or doing the one radio station, and the guy, the dude from the one channel, I can't remember, but he turned the tables and got it to her to name his station.
So who did Fogelberg know that he got that song on the album?
And why are we talking about two podcasts in a row?
Who's-
This
I
guy
don't-
does not deserve this
Jimmy,
much
probably
prop.
Jimmy Buffett, because he hangs with Jimmy Buffett.
Everybody hangs with Jimmy
There's the
Buffett.
answer,
Yeah.
then. It was
Toby
Buffett.
Keith hangs with Jimmy Buffett.
It
Sammy
wasn't
Hagar
on merit.
hangs out with Jimmy Buffett.
It wasn't
Jimmy
on
Buffett,
merit.
if you're buying beer, he'll hang out with you.
Yeah.
All right, I got one.
All right.
All right.
Now, what I liked about this one was, and it's the Joe Bonamassa one, Guitar Man. No, man, I know people don't like him. He's cocky and
He's
egotistic
really
and all
cocky.
that. But that documentary was really good. I gained respect for him because he's behind everything.
Yeah,
he's
that's
got his
what
own
I
record label,
know.
and it was interesting to see how he built that. And that's what that doc's kind of about. So it's not all about him. It's about what he did. And I mean, he got to the point where he was playing Royal Albert Hall, and if it didn't sell out, he was broke. He put everything into that show, and it sold out. And that's when he started. He's really not started making money until the past 15 years.
Okay.
Up till then, man, he was driving in a van. And these guys that he's been with that started this record company with him, I can't think of his name. It was him and his dad took a chance on him.
Yeah.
And they've been with him ever since. But I thought it was interesting that how he did it. There's no bands doing that. I mean, you got to have some big kahunas to do what he did. He had nothing behind him.
And I did read the story on him, but
They're starting to use it as a blueprint.
He's pretty much it. He did everything from marketing down to everything else, to playing to booking the call. You're right. Either he was hit or miss, but when I saw him, the interview made him sound a lot softer than actually when I saw the PBS special, because that's the only time they played good stuff was when they're doing their fun drives. So I was watching Joe Bonamassa and I listened and I'm God, he's kind of a dick. But I appreciate what he does and how he's doing it, because you're right. He's doing it all.
There's bands now. I mean, if you notice, like there's some bands out there like Dirty Honey. They don't have a record label. They're trying to kind of do the same thing, but it isn't easy to do. I mean, you gotta really, like he was saying. I mean, he kept these guys work together. They didn't have the money. They didn't do something. Or he said people to this day, because he's still doing it. I mean, when he goes and books a place, he's putting the money out, booking it up front. There isn't a promoter behind him.
Oh, really?
He's doing it all.
Okay.
So he said, people don't understand what it costs to have lighting, trucks, all this stuff to tour. And then when you're doing
Then
it
you
on
got
your
to
own,
mess with the union at the
all
halls,
that
the union
stuff.
guys setting up their
there's
stuff
some
because they
cases
want
you
their
don't
cut.
book at a place that has
Yeah.
that,
Right.
So, but I just thought it was really interesting. It was aside from the music in it, it was the story of what he did and how he did it. I never knew he was doing that. I mean, I knew he had that record label and all that. I still thought there was people behind him, but there's not. I mean, there were days when he was worried he may not have any money.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I like the story. I just think
You
he's
just
a
don't
little
like
rough
him.
around.
You just
You know
don't
what
like
though? Let me walk that back. You know what? He's probably that way or comes off like a dick because from what he has to do. He's probably had to eat through. He probably had to eat so much crap to get to where he's at now that he's kind of got maybe a shell or in front of him.
I
that
think
he's,
so. Well, there was some stuff in there about...
Because he's got talent.
When he was in
just his
between
personality.
Bloodline, he had Bloodline. That was like his first real band.
Okay.
And it didn't work out. And he kind of didn't know what he was going to do. And there were people trying to pull him in different ways. And I think maybe that it wasn't in the doc, but I think sometimes he got burned too.
So that would give you a little bit hardened shell. And okay, I respect, like I said, the talent, but the personality he's got to work on that. But that's probably
he's got a huge following though. And I mean, aside from his personality, there's I like his music. I think some of his he's had a couple last albums have been really good. And Kevin Shirley produces them all, which is a guy that does him, and then he'll go and produce an Iron Maiden album. The guy, he's got these core of groups that he works with that won't leave him for some reason. Kevin Shirley, have you ever heard him? He's kind of cocky too.
Heard of Jerry Shirley, the old drummer from Fastway and Humble Pie, right?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Say what you will.
So what are we doing?
All right, so now
I've got another one.
we kind of jumped up.
You've had
Will
enough
you
of
wait
that.
your turn, young man?
You-
It goes around
it's
in a circle.
like 10
people,
of them now.
People on the radio here can't hear
only
that, but
done
we've
two.
got a circle going here.
It looks like it keeps going
I've
like
only
in
done
this
two.
half moon thing.
I'm taking another one.
Hey, just take another one just
Okay.
because he did that.
You're
Do
a
that.
hog. You're a
there you
microphone
go.
hog.
There you go.
Here, I'm going to shut your microphone off. Where's the controls
Oh,
right
look
now?
at this,
Let
our
me go-
first band fight. I'm leaving the band. I'm going solo.
I'm going solo.
I'm doing a solo podcast.
You're gonna find me on
Yeah.
another label.
Now another one I kind of like. Not that I'm a huge fan of them, because they're they've been around a long time. Some of their music's kind of poppy, but it was the one about the singer, the fill-in singer for Journey.
Okay.
It was called. I can read my writing. Don't Stop Believing. The story of how they found him on YouTube.
Right. Yep.
And they had. Him in his native land, and he was just a struggling
He's Filipino,
musician.
isn't he? Yeah, he's
Next thing you
Filipino.
know, he's in Journey,
Yeah.
and he had to deal with sore throats. And the band at the time, now I think they're a mess because there's got all these infighting. But
Yeah.
how they supported him and helped him out. He was this young kid that came over here, didn't know anything about living here, and yet now he's just singing, and they're showing him in front of these huge crowds singing for Journey. It was an interesting.
Now, was that a
doc.
movie or a
It was kind of
documentary or an MTV
document-
type thing?
No, it was
there?
on. It's on a DVD.
Okay.
I think
All
I
right.
saw that. I might have rented that on a DVD.
So that's the thing too. I was trying to figure this out. So a lot of stuff just went right straight to
Other
DVD
stuff that-
and stuff.
Yeah,
Like-
like I didn't hear about the Linda Ronstadt thing.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff you find.
All right, here's another one. We all saw it and we love it, and we've watched it multiple times. Saw it at Harpo's. It's a DVD. Scorpions.
Scorpions.
Oh,
Worldwide
the live
Live.
concert. Yeah. Live.
Oh yeah.
See, now is that considered a movie or?
No, that's
but
a
it was.
concert. That's a concert.
That's
But there's a Scorpions doc that I saw on like Netflix, and I didn't know it was out either, and I can't think of the name of it, but it was pretty good. The only thing was it wasn't made here, so the German.
It's in German.
There's no translation.
Does that scare you though? People speaking German.
It's just you don't know what they're talking
You
about.
being Polish in World War II
Unless
and all
you
that.
speak German, you're going to miss some stuff.
Okay. All right.
But it was pretty good.
But as far as what I was doing, as far as when we were looking for rock movies, one of my subgenres was live performances. Like, let's spend a night together, Rolling
Ooh,
Stones.
that was on my list. I love that movie.
But that's a live movie.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, Woodstock, I'm
of
lukewarm
a doc.
on that. I mean,
Yeah.
Elvin Lee's 20 minutes, he might
yeah.
maybe go home. Not so
Yeah.
much. Sly and the Family Stone, where the guys rocking the keyboards and just
Right.
you can just see they're losing their minds.
Yeah.
That was cool. But I mean, a lot of that was a lot of hit and miss.
Yeah.
Song remains the same. Fell asleep in the
I
middle.
don't even know if I've ever watched that. all
I've seen
through.
it at the Macomb Mall once. They used to do those midnight movies.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
got like right in the middle, and you'd be sitting there, and I think I fell asleep until some guy, you'd hear a beer bottle roll down the hallway or the aisleway in the
Yeah,
movie
which is
theater.
usually at all the midnight movies. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's just, but
I don't think I've ever watched it all the way through. I think I've fallen asleep every time.
It's tough.
It is.
But
A lot of it, and then when he goes into Moby Dick, it's like, oh my gosh, oh my god,
I'm
when's it
falling
going to
asleep now.
end? Yeah,
Is that? I forgot about that part. That's horrible.
yeah. And then you look at the stage. I mean,
But that
Bonham.
movie was made in an era,
And you're
Yeah,
right.
that was-
Bonham
yeah, that
had
was
no
a-
drum
yes.
riser. He's playing like this. And the guys are they've got really
Yeah.
no outside of Jimmy Page swinging his arms a couple of times. There's no stage
You know what's
presence.
funny about some of those old ones? Here's the equipment they used. You know,
Yeah,
got
those are- yeah,
microphones
yeah.
with a sock tied around it back then. These guys were big bands, but it's like you wouldn't see that nowadays. You know,
No.
the
Well, no,
broken
'cause, yeah, 'cause-
equipment
yeah,
or
'cause-
run. John Bonham's got a pillow in his kick drum.
Yeah.
But yet, you know, that was the time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Allman Brothers too. They used to have the same thing. These guys used to
Yeah.
use a pillow in their drum.
I think that might have been
their
when they
bass
pulled
drum.
it out. They did those long jams, so someone could sleep behind the drum kits. He pulled a drum out of the bass drum. Like, okay, I'm just going to take it, lie down. He's going through, right, days and
You know,
confused. I
there's
can't
another
do
one.
that.
But going back to Woodstock, the Santana ones, when they were.
Oh yeah. When
and
he was
the Who-
supposed to be stoned out of his flaming mind.
Yep.
Yeah. He
And
was-
was it the drummer?
Michael Shreve.
Yeah.
You know who else he was the drummer for?
don't tell me. Hagar,
there's
Sean,
Sean,
Aronson, Shreve, H.A.
Yes.
Whatever they.
You know who else he was a drummer for?
Wait a minute. Hold on, let me
Let's
guess.
see here.
San Francisco, probably.
Oh wait a minute. He's got that shit eating grin. It's probably Eddie Money, right?
No,
Bob
I
Seger?
can't believe you don't know this.
Bob Seger.
No.
Wait.
Wait. It's
What
gotta be-
coast? What coast?
He's giving us that
West
shit eating
Coast?
grin
Is
like
it
he
West
I
does.
don't remember where they came from when they came out. They had, I think, 2 albums, but the first album they did had a kind of a hit.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
You used
Holy
to-
cow.
I remember being in your basement playing rod hockey, and this song came on the radio, and you were playing air drums to it.
Wow. Okay.
You're gonna die when I tell you.
Michael Shreve, air drums.
Let's Google them really quick.
I don't know.
Okay,
All
I'm
right.
gonna have to tell you.
Tell me.
Novo Combo, Uptown Periscope.
What?
What?
Yep.
Huh?
You don't remember that song?
No, I remember Aldo Novo, but not Novo, Combo. Who the hell else was in that band?
Uptown Periscope.
Aldo-
Round, round we go
Aldo
high and
Novo?
low.
Wait.
Novo Combo.
I know you know the song. It was a hit. It was
I
an
would have
80s
to
hit on the
YouTube
radio.
that one.
Hey, pass that over.
He was the
please.
drummer.
Pass that over.
He was the drummer in Novo
He's done.
Combo. I'm just telling
Pass it
you.
over.
I mean,
All right.
I
all
okay.
right.
All right.
He's
we'll believe
passed
you.
his couple of
I'm
beers
giving
now.
you some trivia you didn't know, and you
didn't?
now you're going to
No,
sit here and
you
laugh.
didn't.
I didn't say it was good. I just said he was in Novo Combo.
Okay.
First two albums.
I don't even really. Didn't even never even
Yep.
heard of the band.
Yep. Before HSA, whatever the initials are.
Great version of
Good
Whiter
album.
Shade of
Yeah,
Pale.
they did a
Oh,
really good
and
version, yeah.
Missing
Top of the
You.
Rock. Yeah. I didn't see this movie at all, and I don't wonder if you guys did, but the lineup was incredible. Did you guys, either one of you guys see the Monterey Pop movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
All right, so I didn't see that. Was it as good as it allegedly is? Because that was supposedly changed
it's-
music because you had Otis Redding, The Who. You had a real amalgamation of a lot of different bands coming together.
Yeah, 'cause that was
And
before
how was the
Woodstock.
filming? Was it a little more exciting than the same old? The song remains the same. Was it a little bit more?
No, it was more on the lines of like a Woodstock
So
type.
it
scenario.
was better.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. No, it showed, the band. It was interviews. Kind of the movie I seen was.
Oh, really?
it was
So it
like-
did have interviews.
It was, yeah, it was
Okay.
kind of interviews with,
Maybe I
some
should
of the
search that
musicians
out.
and various people and stuff.
Kind of on the same line.
I've
Yeah,
been
it's kind of
intrigued
the
by.
same.
Yeah, I was intrigued by the lineup. The lineup was incredible.
Yeah,
You got the
it was-
Who and
it was-
Otis Redding in the same lineup. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, no, it was a good movie.
Janis Joplin, I think, is in that too, right? From what I understand.
Janis Joplin is in ELP. Emerson Lake and
Really?
Palmer. Are they in? Did they play mine?
I don't know. It
Ooh, what
was
a lucky
more.
man
I don't
he
think
was.
it was more.
I don't remember. I got to check.
No, I don't
that.
think the LP was in it. It was
sure?
It was more it was a little more folk rockish type scenario. It really wasn't.
Could have swore they were in. No, I might be thinking of a different one then.
Okay, another one I didn't see. This is great. I got a list of rock movies
Stuff
I
you
never
didn't
saw.
see, but you're gonna say they're good.
I'm
That's
going to
what
ask
you're
you
gonna
guys.
talk about.
Neil Young's Rust Never Sleeps. I saw bits and pieces of it with
Now,
the
I'm a
big,
Neil
huge,
Young fan,
big,
but-
huge
It's-
speakers and stuff.
The music's good.
but
It's kind of. It's not an exciting. And I like Neil Young, but I just. It's kind
now
of,
is that movie with Crazy Horse? Does he have his regular Crazy Horse band in there?
But it's not a sleeper as bad as Zeppelin, but it's kind of a slow. It's hard to explain. It's not great. The music's good.
All the interviews.
You know, Neil
and
Young he's had some really weird years.
He's a weird bird.
Yeah, like I'll never forget the concert at Pine Knob when he was before the album came out, Greendale, which.
Oh, it was some kind of saga that had this ongoing story
and
about
people were getting up and walking out. They
yeah,
were
but see,
gross.
he told you guys at the beginning. He said we're going to be playing songs from the Greendale album. So he warned people.
The whole show, he played.
But that's what he told
played
you. That's
one
what he
song
warned.
anybody knew, and that was Like a Hurricane as an encore. The rest of it was all this play acting going on behind him. It was bizarre, and you don't do that before the album's out. I swear to people in front of me, they were swearing and they were giving him the finger and they walked out. Because when I went, it was with the company's tickets I was with, and they were the first couple rows. So people down there paid a lot of money. If I would have paid, I'd have been pissed too. These were free tickets, but it was a snoozer. It was a horrible concert.
Okay.
We saw him. You know, we had robot bugs around. Going around.
The Kobo Tier C.
Yeah, he's done some weird stuff.
What album was that?
That was,
off?
I think, Trans.
Oh, where he went to kind of techno because then he did rockabilly movie.
He was having a problem with the record label, and he was putting crap out.
Yeah. And he had that rockabilly album like right after that. Everybody's crazy. Everybody's rocking or something with the. He had the pop door in it.
Pigs.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Neil
I
Young
remember.
and the Shocking
No,
Pigs.
that's not a bad album.
I do remember that.
See, I like Landing on Water, which is kind of weird. It's Touch the Night
You
on
know,
it.
that might have been the tour we saw. Might have been Landing
Touch
on
the
Water,
Night,
but it
the
was
big
that same
airplane.
era.
Yeah, got the big airplane on the
He was
cover.
on Geffen, and he was releasing albums just to get out of a contract.
Okay.
But yeah, he's had some weird years, and that Rust Never Sleeps is kind of.
I'm telling you, it's tough to be a Neil Young fan because you don't know from one album to the next what you're going to get.
Yeah,
The guy might be doing calypso, he could be doing jazz, he could be doing rock and roll, he does acoustic. He flies by his own
anything that
radar.
happens in the world that's controversial. He'll come out with a new album. It'll be on that topic.
He also did
or
that.
something.
He also did he had that while he's into religion too. He had the Somebody's Got to Serve. In the
No,
late
that's Bob
70s.
Dylan.
Oh, that's right. That's Bob Dylan. That's
Okay,
right.
you're done. Okay,
Wow.
you're done.
Oh boy.
Didn't we dismiss you earlier? Isn't it just
I'm
the
back.
Mike and Mike
I'm back.
podcast now?
I came back.
All right. It doesn't sound like you come back. It sounds like you're still somewhere.
I got a movie that might be. I don't know. I think you might have seen this one. It was that Quiet Riot one.
Oh yeah.
We're here now, but there's no way back.
Yeah. That was all right.
Yeah. I mean, it was more. It was more of the thing about Kevin dying and Frankie going on to
And this
take
is
on the
before
band.
Frankie Banali died.
Yeah. Yes.
So it was if you were a big Quiet Riot fan, it's probably a good one to watch.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge
But
Quiet
the
Riot
but the
fan,
thing
but it was
the thing
interesting.
is the weird. Some of the stuff is he put a lot of stuff in that movie that most people probably wouldn't have let in, like when they were doing one of the
Being Frankie Banelli, right?
yes.
Okay.
His wife, I think, is actually the one that produced it.
Okay.
Frankie Banali's wife, I think.
But he would put like the thing where they were at that one rock festival and he ran into Carlos.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking, and Carlos was like, "Oh, you got the band back together? Oh, really? Okay, well that's cool." And he walks away, and Carlos looks into the camera and goes, "Wow, I don't know if I would do it without Kevin."
Yeah.
Which is kind of to leave something like that in the movie,
Yeah.
But I mean, it just showed how he was looking for the lead singer, the new lead singer. Plus, it was him basically really trying to get over Kevin's death. I mean, he was
Right.
pissed at Kevin because Kevin died to a degree. I mean, he wasn't
Right.
happy with it and stuff like that. But
Oh no,
it's
he
just kind of,
pretty much put an end to the band.
Yeah.
It can't be. They weren't thrilled,
yeah.
Well, I don't think anybody's thrilled when your lead singer
That's
dies.
how it
Right.
happens and stuff. You
Yeah,
know, they.
And Kevin being the only original member from
Yep.
the early days.
Yep.
And there's another one I can't remember. It was on Amazon. Amazon Prime was the one. It was kind of like a Randy Rhoads documentary.
I didn't watch that yet.
It was it's a good worth watch because it has a lot of footage of the early days in Quiet Riot. A lot of stuff in the bars and stuff like that, and it shows that he was even a really good guitar player back then. He was already on the top of his game back then. I mean, he's doing guitar solos, and you're like, wow, this guy, for someone that's in the bar, he really had something going on back then.
So he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but Dan Fogelberg does too.
Ooh, we cannot. I don't think We could. Well,
I'm sorry.
I know. No, I'm more recoiling from the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We cannot have a podcast that because it wouldn't be so productive because it is such a sham on so many levels that we can't. No,
we could be here all
and
night.
everybody knows that.
But I do want to bring a movie up because I don't know if you guys saw it.
Okay.
Hired Gun.
Yes.
You see
I've seen
that?
that. Yes, I did.
You seen that?
Who's that with?
Hired Gun.
What's
Hired
it about?
Gun.
Oh, there's everybody in it.
Session musicians.
Even Derek St. Holmes is in it. It's about
Ooh, I
guys
like
that are
him.
hired guns.
Yeah.
That's an awesome.
Yes, it was really
movie.
good.
No, I saw the
drummer
one
from Billy
Standing
Joel.
in the Shadows about
Yeah,
all the female
Liberty.
background singers.
Yeah, no,
That was good.
Yeah.
That was. Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen that.
Where Mary Clayton stuff, and
Yeah,
actually
okay.
Mary and Mick Jagger get together and stuff, and she says, "Yeah, Mick called me up at 2:00 in the morning. I'm
Yeah.
half pregnant. I'm in
Yeah, she
curls
came
and stuff."
in, yes.
She says, "We got to get you come down there." I drive down there, just nail it, and these guys are all these English white kids. I go, unbelievable, and they just leave. She just lays down her stuff. She goes, I was heavily pregnant at the time. I go down there and curls and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool.
Hired guns kind of. It's just these
Now, what
guys.
do you- is
These
it like-
guys that are hired to
Yeah.
to go and really. They're the talented musicians that are behind the scenes.
So
that
the
are-
studio musicians,
Yeah.
Basically, yeah, studio guys.
Kinda like the
But some of them are
touring guys.
well-known people. They
Right.
spent a lot of time being
They-
a hired gun before they've gotten the name. And
Anybody I would know?
Oh,
Not the Russell Kunkel,
Derek
Bob
St.
Blob
Holmes,
stuff.
Liberty, the drummer, Liberty.
Oh,
DeVito.
Liberty DeVito, the guy that made
he's
Coke
in
Problem,
that,
Billy Joel's drummer.
God, who else was in that? All kinds of people.
The guy that started what's can't remember the band. Was it? That's
Somebody from Filter or Fuel.
yeah, Fuel
was in it.
Yep. What about Slipknot?
Yeah, there was a guy. Yeah, there's a lot of
Slipknot.
guys in there that
That were-
spent a lot of time as studio musicians.
Yeah.
and it's pretty
It's
interesting.
just it's a good behind the scenes movie.
So these guys
of-
aren't really studio musicians; they're actually like hired, like you just said,
hired
hired
for touring.
guns.
Yeah, hired to do it. To
Todd
do
Howard,
a tour.
was he in there? Because that guy's been
remember.
everywhere. He's done. He's
I don't
He's
remember
done
if he was
Cheap
in it.
Trick. He's done a lot of. He's done stuff for Heart as far as like either playing keyboards, stuff like that.
Cheap
he's,
Trick,
He's
yeah.
a great hired gun too. That'd be a perfect example there.
I can't because it's been a while since I saw it, but there's a lot of guys in it though. There's a lot of people that give their little take on doing it. And it kind of sucks because some of them, they're in the background. They're under the stage.
They have John Fives in there.
Oh, John
Yeah.
Five plays with everybody.
Kenny Aronoff. Kenny Aronoff talks about the thing with Jack and Diane, the drum thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks about that and just some of that stuff like that where they for them to when they're
They don't get
recording.
the credit in some cases
Yeah.
that they should.
Now we kind of skidded by there, and nobody put their 2 cents in there. What do we think of like Spinal Tap and the Blues Brothers?
I like
Both
them
great
both. I
movies,
like them
two
both.
separate end of the spectrum.
Yeah, I like them
and
both.
the funny thing about Spinal Tap is it came out, and we all watched it and we're going, that can't be right. How many times we read after, like, Dave Mustaine, a lot of these guys saying, hey, that's a lot more real than you guys know. When you can't find the stage, where you're trio stuff like that. You guys laughed and you thought it was funny and stuff. He goes, a lot of that stuff is really, the real as far as like the girlfriend calling the shots type thing. He says, yeah, everybody thought that was kind of like a parody thing. He goes, no, there's a lot more to that that's actually more true than you think.
That was a good movie.
And the Blues Brothers was just, I don't know if I'm more impressed with just the selection of music and just the way it was put together or just the massive car crashes at the end. They must have destroyed so many cars.
It's a classic movie.
It really is.
Yeah, I mean it's
And I think it brought back a
The chicken
lot of
wire in front of the stage as they're
Yeah.
throwing stuff at them.
Yeah, we got both kinds of music here, country and western.
yeah.
So I think the fact
we're the
it
good
kinda-
old boys, the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, and it
Pulls up
kind
into the
of
bar.
and I think it kind of rejuvenated a lot of interest in R&B and blues back then for a lot of
Yes.
white people that really probably wasn't paying attention.
That was that the We're on a Mission from God?
Oh yeah,
That was
oh
in
yeah,
there.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be another one to fire up again.
Oh,
I
it's
haven't seen that in a long
It's just
time.
you know what? There's really no let up.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
And-
Aretha
and-
Franklin,
yeah, with her
saying
the scenes, yeah.
to Matt Guitar Murphy, you better think about the consequences of your actions. You better think. You ain't getting your 4 fried chickens. You ain't getting your dry white bread.
The one that's gotten a lot of, and I liked it, but I think my mom's watched it 10 times. Is Bohemian Rhapsody.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Kurt and I kind of talked about this Sunday.
Anybody that's watched it that's older, love that movie.
My mom
My mom loved it. My friends,
mom loved it
friends'
too.
mom
She's a
loved
big
it.
Queen fan.
It's really weird.
She was the one that was griping about you guys, about the whole thing.
Your mom's listening to our podcast?
Yes.
Sorry, Mrs. O, I swore earlier. Still invite me over for Christmas.
I thought it was I thought it was well done. It gave you a good glimpse of the band. The storyline was pretty good. I mean, because you had to cover a lot of stuff. Because that went from the beginning to the end.
Okay.
And but I look at people that I thought, like, my mom's 82 years old or 84, and she goes, "Man, I never realized how good their music was." I mean, that says a lot when people like that are saying stuff about the music.
Okay.
So your mom's walking around going,
she loves that movie. I swear to God, she's watched it at least 10 times. Yes.
I know.
scares me a little bit.
I read a review on the movie, and whoever wrote the review up, I don't know if you obviously because you've seen it, you can tell if it's true or not. It's basically by the end of the movie, you almost don't realize the other musicians. It's more focused on Freddie.
Kind of.
Well, you have to, because
Kinda,
Queen's
'cause
not John Deacon. The Queen is Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
The Rolling Stones aren't Bill Wyman. The Rolling Stones are,
Jagger and
But I
yeah, just-
haven't seen Rocket Man. I think it's the same type. But I hear Rocket Man doesn't come close to.
I heard that too.
to
It
Bohemian
wasn't-
Rhapsody.
just-
I thought it was. I went into it because I remember going to the theater to see it.
Okay.
Because Ann wanted to go see it, and I really didn't. It looked cheesy, the commercials and stuff, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was well done, I thought, and I'm just surprised at how many people have told me their mothers and fathers that are older than us thought this movie was great.
Okay.
The problem I have with those types of movies is they're nice if you use them as a gateway drug type thing. Where no, I mean you've got a huge long career and you're trying to jam that in an hour and a half.
That's
so all you're doing is you're kind of glossing over and giving the highlights. Hopefully, if you like that movie, you'll go back and reach out and say, okay, let me go buy some Queen albums. Let me go buy some Elton
that's what
John.
they did
Let
well
me
on
go
that.
read up some more about me. But you can't expect to walk out of that movie and go, okay, I know everything there is to know about Queen or
but
Elton
they did
John.
do a good job
But that's
of
what I'm saying.
kind
It
of
should be a
breaking it
nice
out.
little gateway
Yes.
thing to allow people to go, okay, I want to hear more or see more. But people that sit there and base all their knowledge on Bohemian Rhapsody, they're going to be sorry.
But you're right. A lot of those movies are.
Yeah.
They
And it's
they
a
skip
ti-
periods and stuff
And the
like
thing
that.
is, it's just a time thing. If they had time to do that, they can flesh out everything. That'd be perfect. But they don't. So they're just going to give you this, and this.
Yeah. I mean, you can't cover everything because certain time periods, maybe the band didn't want that part in the movie because maybe things weren't going really good for them at that time. Maybe the music they put out wasn't to their satisfaction, or they just, or the producer said, we got to cut this down to a certain time, so we got to eliminate this and that, this time period or something like that. So that's going to happen.
Okay.
You know what we can do? We got a couple minutes. We could whip them off real quick. Some
Well,
stuff you
I
had
was
on
going
your
to
list?
say one more thing here, and this was my kind of curveball too. Is like, where does WKRP in Cincinnati fit on any of this? That was a great television show.
Yep.
That was.
I love that show.
Come on, now where are we going with this? Is
Oh,
that
that's a
considered?
TV show. I don't know if it
But
falls
still,
into this, but it was
it's still
It
good.
was good. Yeah,
It was.
Yeah, I see.
I didn't,
I see it in
classify
reruns.
that one. I didn't even really.
But
consider
that,
but-
that was we all watched it.
Yep.
Chat every
Feet
week.
first.
Yeah, Herb Tarlick. More news and less Nessman.
Oh God,
And his crop
that's
reports.
another whole show.
Yeah.
The crop reports of the hog.
Hog futures. Hogs have no futures. Their futures are bacon.
Oh, and I gotta mention Anvil.
Oh,
the story
you know
of the
what?
sto- the
That's
story of
not
Anvil.
bad. I
That
remember
was
that.
on my list, 'cause
Those
that-
guys are serving food in a
love
cafeteria
that.
and
I
stuff.
love
That's
that.
actually a good call.
That was-
They
Yeah,
didn't,
'cause
they
that
didn't
one
pay
there-
him in Poland. They're in that basement playing somewhere. And the guy goes, "Hey man, you didn't bring anybody in." He goes, "We played. We want our money."
Yeah. They missed one time. Was it they missed the one train one time?
Yeah,
they couldn't make it to the next
I
gig.
thought that was a great
That
doc.
was that shows some
And
of the
I mean,
stuff that.
and a
know a
little
lot about
sad too. It's a
Kinda.
little sad. You guys schlepping a tray through the snow somewhere in Ontario full of food to a cafeteria and going, "This guy's
Yeah.
a rock star. What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
And then,
But they were all, "Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do."
and then I have to mention the Rush Beyond the Lighted Stage. I thought that was awesome.
That was yes, it was.
You know,
That's without a doubt. That was good.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good
was- yes.
And then you can't forget about Sugar Man.
I did see that. Bits
Are
and
you
pieces of it.
serious?
Oh, I thought that
I-
was great.
I
thought it was good.
I seen parts of it, and the
they
parts
rose
I
him
seen,
up for a little bit. They gave him a little bit of flashlight
He's
on him
been
and
big.
stuff.
I
and
didn't know
he's-
about him. He was big in Europe
Where
for
is he
years,
now?
man.
Where is he now?
He lives by Wayne State.
All right, we'll go
You
over
never
there.
listen to his music?
I'll go over there and
Did
give
you
him
ever
a
listen
quarter.
to his music?
All right.
What about? Did you guys see the Echo in the Canyon?
Yes.
Very
Yes,
good. wasn't
that
it?
was good.
Well, no,
Yes.
what is that
You know,
one?
another good one was the Tom Petty. It's like two discs.
Okay.
See, now we're talking about just straight DVD
That's another.
stuff.
No, that's another. No, it's a
Echo in
Tom
the
Petty
Canyon.
doc. It covers a
Yeah,
lot, man.
Yeah, the Echo in the Canyon. I seen that at the old the main theater
that
in
was-
Royal Oak.
what was the one- what
that
was
was
it called?
a regular release. That was a good one. That's kind of covers the
Running down the drain.
whole-
That was what it was.
Okay. The Echo in the Canyon kind of covers the whole thing about
Yeah.
like the Birds and Mamas and Papas and all that stuff around that time period of music. That that kind of that folk California.
Oh, the Laurel Canyon
Yes.
stuff with all the hip. I got you.
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yeah, that was really good. That was done by Jacob Dylan.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That's
So
right.
you're
He
going to
was
do
all
your
over that.
quick boom, boom, boom. You got more?
Okay. Then I had
Rapid
we did
fire.
the Let's Spend It
We got
Together.
time here. We can go
did,
over a little bit.
the ZZ Top one, little old band from Texas.
Yes, I seen that.
That was good. I
Yeah,
thought.
that's a
I did
nice.
not
That
see
was a
that
little.
one.
You see that? That's a good one.
I think that was
Kinda-
on Netflix. I think was that on Netflix.
It's on a DVD with Netflix.
I seen.
showed it.
I seen it on Netflix.
Yeah,
No, that was good. That
I just
one
saw the Triumph one, Rock and Roll Machine. That was
Okay,
awesome.
I gotta see
was
that.
good.
I gotta see that
That's
one.
pretty in depth. They got
Okay.
shows. They go back to their warehouse. The Keith Richards Under the Influence.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I saw bits and pieces of that.
No, you can't. You stopped by my place and we watched it that one night.
Oh, yes, that was the one that went on forever and ever?
Yes.
Oh, that, could you also
That
play,
was on Netflix.
But you also played Charlie, My Darling, about the Charlie Watts thing. Yes. Okay, so both, I get those confused.
Keith Richards
Yes,
was kind of made
that
around the
was
time the
good.
book came out.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
that
that
was
was
good.
really good.
God, I forgot all about that. You're right, that was a,
And then Heavy Metal. I thought that was good. The cartoon Heavy
I
Metal.
didn't get that.
You didn't like that?
I mean,
Good
all the
soundtrack.
Fantasia parts and the soundtrack was good, but I mean, I just didn't get it. It was kind of
What about
Beware of Mr. Baker. Did you ever see that one?
Ginger Baker. He's nuts.
Did you ever see it?
No.
I
Oh,
saw
you
bits and
gotta
pieces,
see
but
that.
he's nuts.
You gotta watch when he beats the guy up with a stick to
Yeah,
record
he's-
it. Oh, that's just a
Well,
classic.
now you're getting.
He's
Now you're
not
starting
right.
getting into days of like the Doors one.
No,
Yeah.
that one wasn't
People
that
are
old.
straight.
Buddy Holly,
Yeah,
the Bomb
yeah.
Bomb.
That one- that
Now
one-
we're getting some.
No, the
we're
Ginger Baker
straying.
one's
Yeah.
not that old, and it was good, man. I'm
Okay.
telling you. I didn't. I just watched it one night. And I thought
I'm
it
just
was
waiting for
better.
you to mention Quadrophenia.
No, I don't have that on here.
Oh, you're a loser.
That's about it. A band called Death. That was okay.
What?
A band called Death.
Oh, Detroit band.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Actually, me
That's
and
right.
Mike saw
Yes,
them
I-
at Hart Plaza.
yeah,
They opened up
okay.
Race Fraley for some free thing.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there was a doc on them. It was all right.
Okay.
Then one of those guys came and
There was
gone.
one that I seen. What was it? Oh, the MC5. There was a documentary that was back at the old DIA. I seen it at the MC5. That was pretty cool. What about the 11-part series Metal Evolution?
Oh, by Sam Harris.
Haven't
Oh
seen
my
that.
gosh, that was incredible.
Yes. You ever seen that?
I don't know if they put that in a compilation of one big DVD package. I would watch that. This guy he does a lot of he does all the metal stuff. Like he's done the Iron Maiden movie, the Flight 666 and stuff.
Yes, okay.
He is very, very, not a fanboy, but he gets in there and he gets these
So there's
guys.
actually a
Oh, yeah, this is-
documentary.
It's
Yeah,
11
this is-
parts,
this is- and
hour
this-
long. Each one's
You
about
need
an
like a
hour
week
long.
Yeah.
to watch it?
The dude,
You
yeah.
need like a week to watch it?
No, it's like the Ken Burns shit. Where he
right.
does, episodes and stuff. But probably got. But this guy's not a fanboy, but he gets these guys comfortable enough that they actually kind of just let loose. So you don't. They're not, saying the rote things. Oh, you know what? We did this and this. No, good call, good pull there.
That one there starts with Blue Cheer and
Yeah,
Black. And,
it's a
and Black
really,
Sabbath.
really
Where
good.
would you see that?
That was actually on
God,
VH1.
it used to be on.
VH1.
They used
It
to
was
play on
VH1
VH1, and
back
I think
then.
it
might have
moved
seen parts of
over.
that.
Yeah, that was like 10 years
yeah.
ago. That was like
You
that was
had
out like
to
10,
see
12
bits
years
and
ago.
pieces
Yeah,
of it.
I think I've seen parts
Again,
of
it's
that.
like,
I've
a
never
Ken,
seen
it's like
the
a
whole
Ken
thing.
Burns thing. It
Yeah.
goes on and on episodes.
Each episode correlates to a specific time of music, like power rock, heavy metal.
Well done, well documented. I mean, for the guy did his homework.
Yeah, like the
and
new
he
metal-
reached out to the people, and he's got such of a rep now that people will talk to him. He's not. He's just not a fanboy.
Yeah, I mean it covered like all the stuff there.
Okay. Well, all right. As we wrap this thing up here, and before you give your outro and stuff,
Okay.
I just want to thank both of you guys for not mentioning Kiss Meets the Phantom or Detroit Rock City.
Well, because they weren't any good.
Well, okay. Well,
We were
that's
talking
what
about
I'm
ones we
saying.
liked.
Oh, well, there
Yeah,
you go.
well, see-
but I thought you'd throw it in my face and stuff, and then just kind of just.
Well, no,
you're right. Both of them were brutal.
No,
Really not worth
thing-
mentioning.
You're right.
Yeah, the reason why we didn't mention it because if you go back to the decline of Western civilization, the
Yeah.
metal years. Every scene that Paul or Gene was in, Paul's every scene was him laying in bed with the girls in the
And
90s.
Gene was in a lingerie shop.
And Gene was in the lingerie shop. And I'm sitting looking at this thing going, why are these guys filming their scenes?
Do you think they're embarrassed about that now?
No.
No?
No, Gene, no way. He's never embarrassed
Wait,
by
this
it.
is-
He's never.
Paul doesn't even swear anymore.
Dude,
did you-
this is a guy this is a group of people that put
Well,
out
maybe not
kiss
Gene, but
condoms
Paul.
and kiss
Paul's-
caskets.
Paul's,
You see, guys,
Paul's out there now acting like he's, this married guy. He doesn't
Okay.
swear anymore.
dude, we could do a whole show on this. But I'm telling you right
He's
now,
been on a
this
cooking
is a
channel
group of
cooking
people that
spaghetti.
have put out kiss caskets, kiss condoms, kiss lunchboxes. Do you think they're embarrassed about anything at this point?
I mean,
Nothing
you
is
got a
off the
point there.
table. These guys will just market
the
anything.
Simmons,
Now,
the Simmons Family Jewels TV show.
oh.
That was.
Oh, God.
Which was actually, you know what? There was parts where it was kind of
Interesting,
cool,
yes.
but there was parts where it was schmaltz,
Yes.
personified. It's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And
Like-
how he got Shannon Tweed to this day, it boggles the mind.
Could it be money?
She's got a little bit of cash. I mean, not
Yeah, she's-
just
a little
bit.
that'll.
You think she's come
cash
close to
like
how much
it.
cash he's got? I don't think so.
No.
You think he's giving it to her? You guys know Gene. Gene's not.
he won't
he's
give up.
pretty
He won't-
good about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's,
get it?
he's pretty.
Who's
Kids.
going to get it?
Yeah,
He'll,
kids.
he'll take it with him.
I
You
don't
know,
know, man. He
kid-
looks kind of whipped.
There you go. He would take a vault. He'll get buried in a kiss casket with a kiss vault
Yeah.
next
He's
to him
probably
full
gonna
of
freeze himself.
money.
Money
Yeah,
is money,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He's probably going to freeze himself in one of those.
all right.
Thinking that he can come back.
Cryogenics.
We're
Yeah.
not going to get into the ethnic tendencies of people of that ilk, so we're just going to end it right now. Kurt, sing us out.
Bye-bye.
How do I prove?
Happy trails to you. The old Van Halen thing.
yes.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I'd like to. Boy, I don't know what I was going to say now. I probably forgot to write it all down.
Oh,
No, I'll say,
produced by.
Yes,
you got to thank Joe for letting us use his basement here. He's got stuff to do.
No,
He
I'd
doesn't
like-
need us hanging out here drinking beer.
That's true. No, but
Yeah.
I would first I would like to thank Expressions of the Outdoors for helping with the graphics of the last show, and also this is produced by Zonal Productions and recorded and at Fred Edison Studio. And if you would like to make a comment on the show or send us an email at couplebeersandAconversation@gmail.com.
That a boy.
Yes, and look for us on a podcast coming soon.
And thank Kurt's mom for listening.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Mrs. O.
And we're